Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Here we are on a Thursday night. Time to get back down to brass tacks in the kill zone. Got my man Jake here with me. Bro, well, as always, it's awesome to be able to hang out with you and talk some horror, man. Seriously.
Hell yeah, man. Likewise. I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, yeah. For all you guys that are here, as always, we thank you guys so much for just continuing to hang out with us and supporting us over on Jake's page, also here, also on Fate's page, and also on Steven's page. We really appreciate it a lot, you guys. Seriously. Um, Real quick, Antonis in the house. Hello, Night Watch. Well, hello. How's it going? Good to have you. We got Russell in the house. What's up, Russell? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you've been doing well. We got some great stuff to talk about tonight. Scott, what's up? And hell yeah, man. Rest in peace to the absolutely great Sam Neill, who, a lot of people, they kind of forget Sam Neill did a lot of good horror. He really did, man. The Omen, Possession, Event Horizon, In the Mouth of Madness. I mean, like, he made his mark in horror, and I'm so happy to have been someone to enjoy his films and can continue to enjoy them. So, great actor, absolute great actor.
Really devastating.
Right when I heard that, I got up for work in the morning and I heard it on the Today Show, and Coriander, she said to me, "Oh my God, Sam Neill." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, bro. When I first saw that movie, it was like, and he was a huge part of it. Like, I loved all the characters. I love Goldblum and Laura Dern, and they were great. But for some reason, Sam Neill, I really connected with him a lot in that film because a lot of it is the amazement through his eyes, because he's such a geek about dinosaurs and fossils and stuff. So loved his role in that.
Oh, I could talk about Jurassic Park forever. I mean,
Right?
the duality of his character, like being so awestruck by it, but also realizing the consequences, of like
Yeah.
how like, oh, this might not be a good thing. Like, I don't know if we should coexist, even though like it's like I've worked my whole life for an opportunity like this. It's
Right.
such a good dude. It's such a good movie on so many different levels, and yeah, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have been the same without Sam Neill.
No, not at all, man. I definitely agree with you. We got Val in the house. What's up, Val? Good to see you. The general is here. Derek is in the house. Hey, Derek. We got Paula. Hey, Paula. Hope you've been doing well. Who else? We got Gene. Gene, you're all right. You always come through, and we appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. We got Dana. Dana in the house. Awesome. I'm actually new to the channel. This is my first live on here, and we got the heart emojis. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that, and we hope that you enjoy our little hangout session here tonight. Yeah, hell yeah, man. And for everyone else jumping in, thank you for being here. Hit the like button. Erica's in the house too. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Sam Neill. Yeah, he just passed away. I believe it was 2 mornings ago. I heard it,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's unfortunate. I absolutely loved him and his work. Seriously, seriously. We got D in the house. What's up, D? Really enjoyed ranking videos you've been putting out. I appreciate that. Thank you. Seriously, thank you so much, and thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate that. Well, Jake, we started talking about it behind the scenes before we hit live, and we got to talk about this, bro. The '80s are back. I mean, how are you feeling, man? Because when I think about especially content creators, and of course, you being a great friend, I'm always curious to see how people feel about the fact that we have these titans of the '80s that are kind of making a comeback in one way or the other.
Well, we talk a lot about how, we really want to make content about all these other great horror franchises. And that's kind of tough when there's not like a big new movie on the horizon to get excited for. And
Hmm.
now with movies coming out a new Friday the 13th project is on the way, a new Halloween movie, a new Nightmare on Elm Street. It's just like it opens up these possibilities to do content on these series that we love so much, because I have tried so many times in the last like 6 years or so that I've been making content, to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, and like it's just there's never as much of an interest, and maybe that's because like I don't think it's because there's no fans here or anything like that. I think it's simply because there's not a big movie on the horizon. It's not as exciting as like how Halloween was a couple of years ago, or how
Yeah.
Scream has been, because there's been so many new projects and movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it is like, as a content creator, I'm just so excited to be doing more Freddy stuff, like to dive into that universe and to be like I can't wait to make a Freddy theory. You know what I mean? Like I've done
Yeah.
countless Ghostface theories, but I'm like, oh my god, I can come up with like a Fred, like coming up with my own Freddy dream sequence, and like pitching that, see
Yeah.
what people think about that. I'm so excited about those prospects.
Yeah, man, you hit it right on the nose. I mean, I think, and especially for us as well as a lot of horror content creators, we love these franchises, but it's different when you've got the news of something on the horizon. And, unfortunately, out of the big three, and Freddy has definitely been the one kind of at the bottom in a way, because even with Friday 13th, at least we've had fan films, you
Right.
know. And I know some people may not look at that the same, and I can understand that, but with Nightmare, it's just been so much of a void. And even there's been other things that have been kind of like, yeah, I get it, with Robert kind of announcing a while back that, hey, it's over, bro. I'm too old, I'm too thick, my knees, my hips are hurting. And so like it's good to have great news about Elm Street, and I'm just so psyched about that, because Elm Street has always been a special franchise to me, because not only was it so creative and imaginative, but Robert being, it's a gift and a curse, him being that focal showman. It gave you something to really hang your hat on because of his ability to have that charisma and really make an impression on us. So yeah, it's cool stuff.
The big question, and it's like it's an inevitable conversation to get into, but it's like, who is going to play Freddy now? Who is going to be able to bring
Yeah.
that same gravitas that Robert Englund does? And I made a video about this earlier in the week, and it like, out of all my videos I've made this month, it has like double the comments. Everybody like has their own pitch, and that's the other exciting thing, is that every single one of those comments I was going through, and it's like every comment is a different person. Everyone's got a great person in mind that could play Freddy.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody that you would love to see play that character?
I mean, there's a lot of actors that could do it, and could do it justice, just like Robert did. And like, for instance, I mean, like Jackie himself, Jackie, I think, was really good in the role, for what they asked him to do, and he made choices that were different than Robert, and I think those worked out pretty well. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man, and I've said it a couple of times. I almost feel like at this point we need to find someone that's really, I mean, super under the radar. Someone who is just getting started, in their career. They've got chops and stuff like that, like Robert did. Robert did, some small things, theater type of stuff. So he was a talented actor, even though he was young and didn't have a lot of, experience in film, theatrical. And that's the type of person we need. Someone, and someone that's hungry. Robert was hungry. I always think about those stories I had researched on the original Elm Street, and how Robert went into the audition and to make himself look less boyish, because he has a young face, right? And as we all know, Wes originally envisioned Freddy to be an old man. He didn't think about the fact that the makeup would do the trick to anybody. You know what I'm saying? But Robert went into the audition. He took grease from the under the hood of his car, and put it on his face to kind of make him look more sunken and greasy and stuff like that. He slicked his hair back. That's who we need. We need that type of guy who's hungry, who's ready to put it all out on the line, and hopefully have the chops to back it up, in my opinion.
Yeah, and someone who maybe hasn't had like a huge big break, because that's another thing that's a good comparison piece for Robert Englund, is like he had been in some other stuff, but
Yeah.
not like the stardom that he had when he was Freddy Krueger in that one.
Yeah.
I think Jamie Campbell Bower is someone who's been brought up a lot, who's like
Oh
a
yeah.
younger guy, has really only been in a few things, and obviously, a big role on Stranger Things, a very similar
Yeah.
role to Freddy too. But I genuinely do think he could embody that role very well, but make it his own
Oh
at the
yeah.
same time, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He was fantastic in Stranger Things, and he also, like you said, is a similar role, and it's the type of role where you can have the menace. Like if you think about the best Elm Street entries, Robert was able to always have this sense of menace, but he also had this way that you could kind of like connect with him. It sounds super weird, but I think that was one thing, at least for me as an Elm Street fan, that was the one thing that with Jackie Earl Haley's version of Freddy, I didn't feel that same connection. Now, granted, a lot of that could have been nostalgia for Robert and the older movies for sure. I can admit that. But it was something about Robert, man. Like, the first time you see him, in Tina's Dream, you're just like, oh, wow, but he just grabs you, without even saying anything. And then, of course, when he does, you just get enamored, and I just think you're right. Jamie could do that. There's no doubt about it.
I love that, Freddy's like he's having fun. Like I think that's the
Yeah.
magnetic thing to him is like that first scene again with Tina in A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like, he's throwing quips out there, he's jumping through doors, he's like, I can't here we go, I'm so excited. He's crazy. I think it's the same reason we all love Art the Clown so much, because it's like
Yeah.
he kind of like he's tearing people up, but he's just having so much fun. I can't help but but be won over to his side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that same thing. And I think whoever plays Freddy, yes, you have to make him a little scary. I hear people say, oh, make a scary Nightmare on Elm Street. But it has
Mhm.
to be a little campy and fun too. Like it just has
Right.
to be.
Yeah, I think that this will be a very tricky thing, right? Because again, you're going to be compared to the master. I mean, Robert
Yeah.
is Freddy Krueger. So, I think Jackie was on to something. Jackie kind of went in his own path, and Jackie had a couple of quips. How's this for a wet dream? He had some good moments, and I love Jackie Earl Haley's voice. Like I was a
Yeah.
huge fan of Rorschach. And as soon as I heard he was playing Freddy, I was like, "Are you serious?" But that being said, you're right. We have to have a little bit of that um, leading man type of thing going on, and again, there's a couple people that can do it. Jamie definitely could do it. There's no doubt at all. He was very charismatic in Stranger Things. There's no doubt at all. Um, but listen, man, you want to talk about some great content to be able to put out. As soon as we find out who that is, bro, it's gonna be like we're all gonna be on Elm Street,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
that announcement drops, and like that's the thing too. No matter who it is, the internet is
Yeah,
going to be on fire. Everyone is going to hate it. That's who. No matter, it doesn't matter who it is. Everyone's going to be so angry for
yeah,
one reason or the other. I can't wait to dissect it though. That is going to be a very interesting announcement.
yeah, yeah. I mean, ultimately, if you get the right actor, let's say if it was Jamie, or let's say it's someone that's kind of really under the radar. If the script can allow that actor to have those scenes that genuinely make you feel dread and terror, but also has those moments where he can throw in a little bit of personality. I think that'll be enough, at least for this first film, right? Hopefully they build off of it, but you got to nail the nightmare sequences.
Yeah.
You got to nail your lead, which if it is Nancy or a Nancy-esque character, that person has to like, because as well as I do, if you have a horror movie and the protagonist isn't interesting or you're not invested in it, the movie's already diminished. A great thing about Elm Street 84 and the best in the series, or any slasher for that matter, is if you have a protagonist that you like, that you're invested in, you want to see if they can make it to the end and all that type of stuff. That's so important. That's almost not as, but almost as important as getting Freddy right. Because there were some Elm Street films, and it's no shade to those characters, but there were some of the Elm Street films that are lower on my list, and part of that reason is because the characters just didn't hit for me for whatever reason, you know. So
Do you so you know along that same line of questioning? Do you want to see Heather Langenkamp come back to the franchise for whatever comes next?
I would love to see her involved. I think she should be in whatever way she'd want. I absolutely love that woman. I'm telling you, man, when we got a chance to meet her at the Elm Street con, well, it wasn't the Elm Street con, but it was a lot of Elm Street people there, including Robert. When we got a chance to talk with her, she is just so sweet, so down to earth. You would never ever guess that this lady is one of the greatest horror final girls of all time. You know, she doesn't think of it like that at all. You know, she doesn't feel like she's special or anything like that. So I hope that she gets a chance to be a part of this in whatever way that she would like, because she was a big part of that magic. You know, when I was a kid, I wanted Nancy to live, and I thought Nancy was badass, and you know, building those Home Alone traps and stuff like that. I loved her, and so if she wants to have a role in it, or executive produce or anything like that, I'm down for it. I truly am. You know.
Yeah, Nightmare is a tough one to do like some sort of requel for, because we kind of already have that in the series like a couple of
Yes.
times. Like at least in my opinion, my two favorite sequels, Dream Warriors and New Nightmare, both of these movies are kind of like in their own weird ways direct continuations to the original that did
Yeah.
something with Heather Langenkamp either literally playing herself or playing, an updated version of the character from the original. So
Hmm.
like how do you do another requel? Like go back to
Yeah.
Dream Warriors. How we treat requels today. That's what Dream Warriors was back in the late 80s, which is so interesting. Like it is kind of the first requel in a way, but I
Yeah.
like, do we make another movie like that, or would that be too similar? Would people be complaining about more Dream Warriors? It's a very favorite sequel. That's oftentimes what I
Hmm.
hear is the best Nightmare on Elm Street flick. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a pickle. You know, I personally, I wouldn't mind them to just kind of just go in their own lane. You know what I'm saying? You know, have the mythology already set up. Don't do any. And again, this is no shade to anybody. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. But I've had some people in my comments talk about, well, have a little bit of a prequel in this new movie, similar to what they did in Freddy's Nightmares on TV, where they showed Robert, as Freddy, before he got burned and all that type of stuff. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's cool stuff there, but I just feel like Freddy's been around so long, and we've waited for this film for so long. I think they just need to just boom. Freddy is around and shit's happening, and let's make it a good story. Let's have a good group of characters. I don't think it should be a requel. Um, if they want to, I don't know, somehow make it, I don't know, a quasi sequel of sorts. I don't know. It's hard to say. You know, it really is hard to say. But I definitely wouldn't want a requel. I don't think that that would be the right way to go. And I could be wrong. You know how it is. If things are done well and they're executed the right way, you can make it work. But I think we should just start fresh. You know.
Yeah, and I always like when people pitch having the same actors come back and play different characters. Sometimes that
Mm,
just makes more sense. And with Nightmare on Elm Street, just looking at the history of the franchise, this is one of those situations where I'd almost rather have Heather Langenkamp like play some sort of new character that is the adult, or maybe like the mother of the new whoever the new person is, but
yeah.
just not Heather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or not Nancy. You know what I mean? Just not playing the
Yeah.
same character, not in the same lineage. I would love to see her come back in some way, but I agree. Yeah, doing the requel, it's a very much it's gotten stale. Every franchise has
Yep.
done it, and we're sick of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think, and especially with, like I said, Elm Street, in my opinion, out of almost any major horror franchise, I think it's got a lot of lane that it can travel in. You know,
Yeah.
you've got an antagonist that literally can do about anything, because everybody has to sleep, right? Um, he's got a good backstory that's really creepy. He can be really creepy. There's a lot of stuff you can do at night, and and the terror. One thing about Elm Street, the best Elm Street films, that is, like when people would get scared, whether it was a lady or a guy, like it felt real because it's like, bro, everyone's had a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? And everybody feels very vulnerable when they sleep and in that whole environment of sleeping, in your bed, in your jammies or whatever you're wearing, you know what I'm saying? So like there's a real Wes really tapped into something primal and something that could work across so many different ways because everyone can relate to that. And I just think that doing a requel would lessen the return of the franchise. I feel as though let's just open the gates and do something really kick ass and cool. Lean into the atmosphere, have some really cool characters, well written characters. Take the time to write some well written characters, So
Yeah,
yeah.
I hope so. I'm with you on that, man. I'm just, I feel like just requels have rarely do they actually do something good for the franchise, opposed to just kind of being able to point to the past and saying, "Hey, remember
Yeah.
that." I
Yeah.
I want a brand new story in Nightmare, especially because it has been so long since we've gotten a good movie in this series. I mean,
Hmm.
the Nightmare remake, it's arguable, right? I think there's some good
Yeah.
things about it, but overall, I think just as a whole, it kind of fails for me. So
Yeah.
I'm really craving that like OG campy mix between campy and kind of scary Nightmare flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. If they were smart, and we're gonna jump to the chat in a second too, guys. Hang in there. Thank you for being here. But if they are smart, they will look at the best films. You look at 84, you look at Dream Warriors, you look at New Nightmare, and you have that as your whiteboard. These this is what made the franchise great. And let's try to, work within that universe as far as the good ideas versus the things that didn't work. And I mean, I know I've said this before about other films, and I know it's hard to make a film. I know that, and you know it better than I do. But it just feels like if you follow a certain couple of rules for this Elm Street film, it should be at least a good movie. It may not be great, but it should at least be good. It should at least be in the middle of the pack of the franchise, if not in the top third. I'm not expecting anything to necessarily be better than 84 or Dream Warriors, but you never know. I mean, for a lot of people, and I know I always bring this up, but when Halloween 2018 came out, there are a lot of people thinking there's no way we're kung fu kicking with Busta Rhymes and doing some weird stuff in Rob Zombie's film. How are we going to ever get that authentic Halloween vibe back? And we did to a large degree for a lot of us. Um, so the possibilities are there. You got someone like James Drew Courtney, who, in my opinion, bro, he needs to lead seminars or something, because when he was talking about the method of evil and connecting to the evil essence, like his way of working the character underneath of the mask, I was like, this guy is a scholar. He needs to be protected at all costs. That's the type of guy, as far as an actor, that you want in this Freddy role. Someone that's ready to work, and they respect everything. They respect Wes, they respect Robert, and they respect us. That's what
Yeah.
we need.
Well, and someone that gets the franchise, man, someone that gets like what we
Yeah.
want from this. I understand the motivation to make Freddy like scarier and more menacing in the 2010
Yeah.
movie. That's what was popular then.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, nowadays I feel like it's all about let's get what the original film got right, and try to do that here and now. It's not so much like, oh, there's one thing that's super popular right now. It's kind of like, let's
Right.
try to do a little bit of everything to cater to every kind of crowd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It makes me think of even a couple of scenes from 84. That scene where after Nancy sees Rod die in the prison cell, and she's on the outside, you know what I mean? And she's in the nightmare, of course. She chose to. And then she's like got her back up against the wall near those bushes, and she's like, "Is anybody there?" And all you hear is Robert, "I'm here." And then he comes out from the bushes, and there's a little chase scene, and I'm just thinking, I love that. It's creepy. It's tension that Wes was able to like really pull out of you. And that's the type of stuff I would love to see in this new film. And I hope we can, man. I really do. I really, really do. I don't want them to mess up Elm Street.
No, no, dude.
All right. Hey, so real quick too, for all you guys jumping in, thank you for being here. And Erica, of course, it just always just being crazy, sending in super chats, telling people to hit the like button. What's going on? Thank you, Erica. We appreciate you so much. So kind of you. Seriously. Let's see. We got Edward in the house. What is up? That's right. A couple of you guys were talking about Chucky. Chucky coming back. We got TCM coming back with Curry Barker. I mean, bro, it is the 80s. This is crazy stuff, man. I mean, like, I'm just so pumped. Which, you know, it's almost, and I was saying this in a video I did the other day. It's almost like the little kid inside of me is just like, yay, you know. But it's a great feeling. It's a super cool feeling, and I think you hit it on the nail in the beginning of this live stream. You know, when you have that news about something big, it's like it just gets you so energized, you know. And we've done the same thing when the Halloween films were out, and of course with Scream. You know, it's just like you get so like geeked up. I love it, man. I love it. Let's see. Ty's in the house. What is up, Ty? Good to see you. Jotto's in the house. We got Nicholas saying, hit the thumbs up. I love that. There you go. Thank you so much. We appreciate that, bro. T85204. My favorite nightmare is part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Ooh, yeah. You know what? I have an affinity for Freddy's Revenge 2 because that was the first Elm Street I ever saw as a little kid. And I know it's got its weird moments, and that's all fine and good, but I thought Robert was great in it. He was devious in that one, man. I loved the way he portrayed Freddy in that.
I got to do the whole series again, man, because like I don't know, like there was a lot of sequels. I've been through the whole franchise twice. There's a lot of sequels I just could not get into. I don't know what it was. Freddy's Revenge, that's one that I was just like really struggling to get through. I got to do it. I want to give it another go sometime though.
Yeah.
Maybe try it again and we'll see what happens.
you should, man. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, man. Like kick back, you know, whatever it is, a couple nights and just kind of run through them and see how you feel. I would love to hear what you think. Because for me, it's like I've seen these movies so many times, it's not even funny. But I do love them, even the lesser ones. I do have fun with them. Hey, Melissa, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And she says, I love her. How do we know the three of them are coming back? Well, we have the new Crystal Lake show. We just got the teaser for that. Melissa, you got to check out my videos, man. So you got to check out the teaser for Crystal Lake. So that's obviously Jason. We got the announcement just the other day from the Hollywood Reporter that Elm Street is in the works, the new Elm Street film, because the Craven estate, which is Jonathan Craven, Wes Craven's son, and Wes's widow, have basically put the green light on and said, hey, we're going to do this. And Paramount has, I believe Paramount has the domestic rights, and New Line Cinema has retained the international rights. I haven't really heard exactly what that all will entail, but bottom line is a new Elm Street is in the works. And then, of course, Halloween, we've heard the rumors and the teases that they're trying to get a film made for 2028, which is the 50th anniversary. They've kind of done away with this whole idea of a TV show, and now they're pushing for the theatrical, which you got to do that. It's Michael Myers, man.
And technically we've had a film for every like big anniversary. Like the 30-year anniversary fell literally in the year between the release of the two Rob Zombie films. So you can kind of look at both of those as like the 30th anniversary if you want. But yeah, pretty much every big like 10-year anniversary we've had something for the last 40 years. So I think if we don't get a movie for the 50th with all these rumors circulating, it would be shocking.
It would. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, and again, I'm just a fan. That's all I am. But with Dia saying, let's go, can't wait for Crystal Lake. Right? Exactly. But can you imagine if they didn't do something for the 50th? How ridiculous is that's a fumble right there, bro. It's a true fumble, especially after the events of Halloween ends. It's like we got to get back on track, bro. We got to celebrate again. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone wants another Michael movie. We've really only gotten one this decade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you know as well as I do, uh, Michael is still hot. Michael is still hot,
Yeah.
man. You talk about Halloween and people come out of the woodwork. So, and especially with all the hype of the game coming out and again, the trilogy is still, there's still that energy from the trilogy, whatever side of the fence you're on. So, I think it only makes sense for them to try to do something for the 50th. And I mean, that's 50 years, bro. That is a really big thing in my opinion. I mean, right now only TCM, as far as active franchises, is the only other one, above 50. And obviously Friday 13th is right behind Halloween, but I'm just saying I couldn't imagine them not doing something like that, trying to get a movie out for the 50th. I couldn't imagine it at all. All right. So guys, real quick, let me just Val, thank you so much for all the links. I appreciate you. Ramon's in the house. Yeah, return you guys are on it, man. Return of the Living Dead, that's supposed to come out last year. From what I understand, and I just did a video on Return of the Living Dead. I love that film. It's a fantastic film. From what I understand, November is the date that they've got set. So we'll definitely be keeping our eyes out. Are you a fan of Return of the Living Dead?
Oh my god, fuck yes, dude.
Is it
Those first two are like some of my favorite zombie movies ever. They're so good.
right? They're just so like fun and entertaining and so rewatchable. I did a video just just yesterday. I can't even remember the days. Just talking about Return of the Living Dead and how there's a huge following for it, but it still feels like it's a little underappreciated. And it broke those zombie rules that were like cemented from George Romero. And I love George, but it was very ballsy for Dan O'Bannon to do this film and kind of go against the grain in so many ways. And I think not only was it bold, but that's what made it work, is that it set itself apart from Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead and Day of the Dead and so forth.
It's almost got a little bit of an ego because I mean, it starts off saying like, "Oh, those George Romero movies were based off of the stuff that we got in our basement," or I'm paraphrasing, but it's
Yeah.
like that's kind of like subtext wise, that's like, "Oh, actually, our movie's like the one that is gonna rock the zombie world," and
Yeah.
it kind of does. I mean, it's like it's kind of a deserved thing. It's a very good reinvention of how we look at zombies. I think in a way too, you can almost say like it's like weirdly scarier. It kind of hits that same like balance that Freddy does, where it's a little campy, a little scary. I mean, that
Yeah.
sequence where the undead like girl or whatever who's chopped in half is talking about like how badly she needs brains. Like that's scary, bro. That's scary. Like it's campy, it's a
Yeah.
little funny, but it's also like, ooh, that's upsetting, man.
Yeah. I mean, she was like, it hurts to be dead. I can feel myself rot. And I'm like, oh man, it just kind of, it makes you think about it differently. Whereas, and don't get me wrong, I'm a huge George Romero fan and his movies are amazing and they really did set the standard. But, with those films, you didn't get that perspective from the zombies, you know what I'm saying? And so with Return of the Living Dead, well, and it also makes sense because John Russo had co-written Night of the Living Dead with George. And so they had their separation. And so Russo kind of had the rights to The Living Dead. And he wrote the novel, which the film was loosely based on because Dan O'Bannon changed it and added a lot of the punk rock style. But, John Russo was right there with the master George himself, in making that original Night of the Living Dead film. So it's just really cool thinking about all the little ins and outs. But Return is such a great film. It really is, man. Oh my God. But let's also turn to Crystal Lake a little bit. I love Friday 13th. And bro, it's so funny because when the teaser came out, I was yelling through the house. I was like, yes, it's time. It's time. Bro, I mean, it's my favorite franchise, you know that. But it's just a teaser, so yay. But what did you think? What's the vibe that you got from it?
Dude, it like I was nervous when they said it was going to be like, okay, it's Pamela, it's about Pamela Voorhees, really. It's going to be about like Jason's upbringing, more or less, and her descent into madness. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, like, is that what we want after not having a Jason movie for, like 16, 17 years now? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the thing that fans are going to be excited for, but I cannot lie to you, dude. I am so hyped after seeing that teaser. It's shot
Right?
very well. Like
Hmm.
like the cinematography is gorgeous, but it still looks like a Friday the 13th movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they
Yes. Yep.
nailed that on the head, and I'm like, I am loving. And again, it's a minute and a half or something. It's a very quick teaser, so
Hmm.
it's not the best. We can't judge the whole series off of this one thing, but just
Yeah.
from these little shots we're seeing, I'm like, that is modern Friday the 13th. Like you guys
Yeah.
nailed the vibe, and in my opinion, the atmosphere of that series, one of the most important things, the music, the vibe, the summer camp energy. That's one of the things that like I just think is so important to the personality of Friday the 13th that clearly they have down.
Yeah, yeah, they understood the assignment, and that was really, really important, and even just the beginning with the little camp song and stuff like that. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm digging it because this is an aspect of Friday the 13th that we've never really gotten a full picture of. We've gotten little snippets and stuff like that, but I think that this could be great, and I think Linda Cardellini looked great.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of hers anyways, but I think she looked great as Pamela, and they had a couple little Easter eggs in the teaser, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and I think that this could be a really spooky, well done film. And from what I understand, and of course, what do we know? But from what I understand, as far as what the synopsis is that obviously Jason drowns, she's grief stricken, and then there's some people that kind of look into her life or her past or something like that, and things happen. I can imagine how they can build out a nice little story. And my biggest way to champion the possibility of this being good is Bates Motel. That was a show. When they first announced they were doing Bates Motel, I was like, this is fucking stupid. We
Yeah.
we already know what's going to happen to Norma Bates. We already know what's going to happen to Norman Bates because we had Psycho. But bro, I'm going to tell you what, Bates Motel is one of my favorite shows, and Vera Farmiga in the role of Norma, and Freddie Highmore is Norman, of course. Chef's kiss. And wow, were they able to build out some really cool story way before the events of Psycho, and I applauded that. So, that's, if nothing else, it can be done, is what I'm saying. It can be done, and this can be something that's really cool. And it looks like it could be.
I 100% think so. And I would love for them to kind of, maybe each season do some like emulate some things from the original movies. We know that some things are going to be different, right? It's like this is
Mhm.
all taking place in the 70s when I think really it would have taken place like years and years and years ago. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the time we're messing with the timeline a little bit, but I kind of don't mind because again, I think
Yeah.
Friday the 13th is such a late 70s, early 80s kind of vibe to it. It's like, how can you not
Hmm.
set it during that time period? I get the motivation there, but I do think that we're still going to do justice to what is essentially the prequel story, figuring out who Pamela Voorhees was before how we saw her late into the original film, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much lore that they can even touch upon that's been in other media, whether it's been comic book or what have you. I mean, there was huge amounts of story about Jason's father, Elias Voorhees. So they could touch upon that. In other words, it could be a lot of cool stuff for all of us diehard Friday 13th fans. And like you said, nailing the atmosphere and the vibe. Like there was that one shot of this camper in it looked like a yellow shirt, and she kind of is backing up, and it kind of looks like it's slow mode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is just like that shot in the original Friday the 13th when Pamela interrupts those two lovebirds and she kills the guy, and then she's coming after the girl, and she's like going backwards, and then it cuts to the dun 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 dun, 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 and it fades into the Friday 13th title card. And I'm like, yes, yes, and more yes. That's what I want. I want to see this. This is really, really cool.
That's totally a recreation of that scene. You can't tell me it's
Mhm.
not, you know? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really think that this first season is going to get into the events of the original Friday, but in its own way, of course. I'm
Hmm.
excited to see how they translate that, because clearly there's references. You know what I mean? We're already
Hmm.
seeing that in the teaser, and you know clearly somebody with a big hand is picking up a machete. So maybe we're flashing forward. There's a very clear shot of someone in some
Yeah,
sort of jumpsuit with a machete. So I think we're gonna see
yeah.
a certain character. At least I'm hoping. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
yeah. Well, and I do know, when the series was originally greenlit and they were talking about how all the rights stuff was gonna kind of pan out, they were like, yeah, adult Jason is in play, and they kept saying that over and over. So I mean, like, it's the smart play. I mean, you gotta do something, and I don't care how they do it, as long as it works within the context of the story. You know what I mean? So it'll be great to see it. I'll be geeking out so hard, man. It's so crazy. It's like being a kid again. Um,
Yes.
real quick too, in the chat, hey, we got Nightfall in the house. What's up, bro? Good to see you here tonight. He's repping, making sure people smash the like button. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. Mr. Rick, hey, bro, how you doing? It's been a while since I was here. Let's have some fun talking about the classics. Exactly, man. Exactly. Um, Scott's saying they also got to get the score right. That's true for Elm Street. A great score can become a character unto itself. Just look at the OG Halloween, simplistic as hell, but highly effective and very memorable. Absolutely. They've got to make sure that they cover those bases as well. And again, look at things that have worked. Again, I know I keep going back to it, but it's because it's true. You look at Halloween 2018, they said, hey, let's make sure that the score is right. And who better to make sure it's going to be right but the master himself, Carpenter? And I think that that was a huge win for that trilogy. And I think it really helped to uplift everything. So definitely with Elm Street, I mean, Elm Street's score is fantastic as well, and the whole 1, 2, Freddy's Coming for You, and all of that. These are all little things that are part of, to me anyways, part of Freddy's mythology. It has to be there. Um, so I hope the filmmakers, and you would think the filmmakers understand that and are thinking that. I really do.
Yeah, capture that atmosphere of the franchise. That's important, man. It's
It's
super
gotta be.
important.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. We got John coming in the house. What's up, John? Good to see you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. That really helps us out. Saying, what's up, guys? So happy to see you live again, Night. Thank you, man. It's been busy. We've been trying to do. We just been working hard and stuff like that. But it's always fun to be here, and especially on Thursday nights with Jake when we get a chance to be here, and then over on his page. I really do look forward to these times because it's like a break away from just doing videos and stuff like that. Um, John says he's excited for Freddy's return. I'd love for the film to be a requel. And we were just talking, we were just talking about it. Nancy's Family. Okay, Nancy's Family and modern teens. Elm Street fight Freddy after his 1984 defeat. You know, as soon as I read that part about Nancy's Family, it kind of got me in the feels for a second there, Jake. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you what. Look, ultimately, if they could craft it the right way, and then I'll see what you think, Jake. If they could craft it the right way, great. And if Heather is able to be a part of it, then that's just icing on the cake. I always love to see her. If they were to do something like that, I think the best thing that they could do is somehow like open the floodgates. You know what I'm saying? Like, no film after that necessarily has to be tied to Nancy's Family. And of course I'm not saying Heather can't be back or whatever, but I just think they'd have to be careful because I feel like this film being the first film in 16 years, well, and whenever it does get released, 16 plus, I feel like it's important to nail it, bro. And if they can nail it, this could be a thing that goes on for several films.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's very important that they get the setup Right. I mean, getting Freddy, casting Freddy, whoever that's going to be, another whole nother conversation and question. But another thing that's equally as important is like, if you don't have a good idea for your story and who we're going to be following into their dream sequences and possible deaths, it's just not going to land in the modern space of horror. We can't just have some meatbags going up against Freddy Krueger, right?
Right.
I think that what makes the two other films that feel very requel-esque in this series, like if we're talking about New Nightmare, if we're talking about Dream Warriors, is it's Nancy coming in a very unique situation. Nancy is with all the kids in Dream Warriors, and then she's literally playing herself, a fictional version of herself with like a fictional kid she has in New Nightmare. And that made both of those films special. You know what I mean? And I just think if we do the typical setup that Halloween 2018 is done, Scream 7 is done now, where it's just like we're following her daughter going through the same thing that she went. Like we're sick of that. You know what I mean? A modern audience is like, okay, we have been doing that for almost 10 years now. Please give us something else. So I think there are ways that you can spice it up, and just as long as they don't follow the mold that every other franchise has gone down. And this franchise has done that before. We found interesting ways to tell requel-esque stories. But can we find what's that spice that'll make it something different? Like how New Nightmare is its own flavor, like how Dream Warriors kind of does its own thing still finding a way to pass the torch, right?
Yeah. It's a tricky balance for sure. But you're right. This whole franchise, has found ways to be trailblazers. I mean, when the first film came out, who even thought that was possible? I mean, all we knew were killers that had, physical weapons, knives and bladed weapons. You know what I mean? This guy was in your dreams.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And so this whole franchise is accustomed to doing creative things and kind of leading the charge. And I just hope that energy and that vibe is what they lean into with this new film and just everything involved with it, because it can be a really special thing, man. I mean, I tell you, if we get someone cast that, people can be like, oh, cool, that's great, and a decent director or even great director, and we get that first teaser and it's like fire. Could you imagine? Like, the internet is gonna go nuts.
The Nightmare fans will show up, dude. I mean,
Yes.
the 2010 movie, which like universally panned, that movie still made like, I think it's like $117 million. Like people were so excited for that. You know what I mean? And even though it is crap, there was a lot of people still showing up to check it out. I really think that if they make this something good, it could be a huge smash. But they have to put in the work. They have to make this, they have to cast it right. They got to come up with a concept that feels fresh, not like just fitting the mold of every other franchise. A lot of work has to be done still.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about it at all. Now, and John, thank you so much for that super chat. Seriously, we appreciate you coming in and supporting like that and giving us that talking point. And also just to say, shout out to you, John, seriously, saying I deal with a lot of a-holes in life, but it's nice to be in a group where there's enough kind but cool people to talk to as well. Thank you all for being genuine human beings. Well, thank you as well, man. We really appreciate that. And, that's how we roll. We roll like that over at Jake's channel too, man. It's like, we're just having fun, So thank you so much. Seriously. Now to pivot to Friday 13th for a second, because this was something that a lot of people had asked me. So we're getting Crystal Lake. Yay, that's cool. Hopefully it's going to be great. Do you have any sense of and or preference of when a theatrical Friday the 13th comes out?
I mean, that's what I would prefer over anything, if I'm being honest. I am excited for this show. It's going to be awesome. We're getting the whole damn season on the same day in October. Like, I'm going to spend the whole day binge watching it.
Right? Yeah.
But like when a movie gets announced, when the trailer for the movie drops, I will turn into a different person. Like, leave me alone, because I am just gonna be like on fire, jumping around the room. It's gonna be I'm gonna be a disaster. It's gonna be awesome.
But right?
When is it?
I will be too.
But when is it coming out? I mean, Jason Universe has been teasing like something's in the works. So it's coming. Like, there's no way they're not actively working on making that announcement happen.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta strike, right? You gotta be thinking about these types of things. How could you not? You know, I mean, it's money on the table. It really is. I'm just curious about, you know, the whole thing with Jason Universe. I'm just still curious about how things are going to pan out with the rights, and it would just be nice to see everyone just come together and hug and just say, "Hey, let's just," you know what I mean? But I don't know. Who knows if that'll ever happen? I get it though. Although as a fan, I'm like, dude, let's just make some Friday the 13th movies with Jason and let's just rock and roll, you know?
And
So,
everyone could be making money right now, but because they're so mad at each other,
yes,
they're not making money. You know what I mean? Like it's like,
right?
what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Cash
I mean,
in.
yeah, I mean, you know, at the beginning of this whole thing, you know, you've got Sean Cunningham who engineered this whole thing. You know, he's the engine, right? He hires Victor Miller. Victor writes the screenplay. So that's huge. That's so important. But you can't have one without the other. You know, like both elements worked together. So it's kind of like, come on, guys, let's. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy, but at least we've got some stuff.
We have something on the way. That's what matters, right?
Yeah, it's true, man. Glass half full. Uh, John's coming in again with another super chat, rocking and rolling. Kevin Bacon is my number one choice for Freddy, by the way. Awesome choice, and he's the great veteran actor who I can see honoring the role properly. Kevin Bacon has been mentioned a lot, especially over the last couple of years. Jake, and I know we've talked about this before, but for tonight, I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, I love Kevin Bacon. I truly do. He can do anything. You know, I've been a fan of his since I was a little kid and saw the original Friday 13th. But what do you think? Do you think that he could? I know he could, but do you think he should play Freddy?
I'm sure he would be amazing, dude. Like I'm really not as picky with who they choose to play Freddy. If they pick someone and they see something in them, there's probably a reason for that. Is how I see it. I'm not
Mm,
gonna if it goes to Kevin Bacon, if it goes to Jamie Campbell Bower, whoever, you know, there's plenty of people. Richard Brake is another name I hear often. I
yeah,
I'm gonna be jumping for joy. It's gonna be great. Kevin Bacon would do a great job with it. I do think that, you know, I'm leaning towards a younger person though, just because I want to see Freddy in multiple new movies. Like I'm hoping for a trilogy, opposed to just
mm,
one movie and doing some weird shit with it. Kevin Bacon, you know, sadly he is getting up there, right? And he's kind
yeah,
of close to being in a similar position as someone like Robert Englund, who doesn't want to do the stunts anymore, doesn't want to get into all that makeup. So I say invest in someone who is younger to play Freddy that has some chops, and you know this could be their breakout role. But
yeah.
if they give it to Kevin, dude, you're not gonna hear a complaint out of me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, I still watch his stuff, and I think he's just a great actor. He truly is. But I agree. I think, look, we're reigniting the franchise and possibly putting together a nice little trilogy or what have you. So I do agree we should probably lean younger, you know. And again, and I'm fine with Jamie or Kevin or Richard Brake or whatever, but I just feel like at the end of the day, looking for someone that's unknown, you know? I mean, I didn't know about Jamie before Stranger Things, you know? And it's like, whoa, he's awesome. And, you know, there's a lot of great actors out there waiting for their break, just like Robert did. And I just feel like whoever it is definitely has to be a little bit more on the younger side, you know, in my opinion. But yeah, I agree with you. If they said Kevin Bacon is gonna be Freddy, I'd be one of the first people like,
Oh yeah, I'd be freaking out, like straight up. I have my reservations about hopefully they get a younger guy, but oh my god, Kevin Bacon,
yeah,
Ethan Hawke, Richard Brake. I mean, any of these guys playing Freddy
yes.
Krueger, it would be
Oh my
awesome. It'd be
god.
so
Oh my
good.
god. Yeah. Bro, you get Ethan Hawke in there. Like, oh, I love Ethan Hawke, man. I mean, look what he's done with Black Phone, bro.
I
I
was just
mean,
yeah, Black Phone 2, right? Like that to me is qualification. That's like, okay, you
yeah.
can play Freddy, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I hope and pray, and I know that they're hoping, you know, to continue that world. But I hope and pray it becomes a reality because I think Ethan Hawke in that role is just so good, man. Malin McGraw, all of them together, they're just so good in this world. and now it's just so opened up for creativity, you know.
I can't believe I won a Black Phone 3. When they announced 2, I was like, we don't need
Yes.
a sequel to that movie. And then I saw the
Yes.
sequel and I'm like, that was really good. Holy crap.
Yes. That's exactly what I thought too. I'll never forget it when they said it. I'm like, well, how are they going to do that? That's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
man, it was one of my favorite horror movies of the year, man. It was just like just amazing stuff, man. John, thank you so much. We appreciate you, brother. Seriously. Paula as well coming in. Paula's not playing around. Thank you for the super chat, Paula. Saying Jamie has the charisma, the voice, the acting chops for Freddy. No doubt. There's no doubt about it. Like, I mean, he was a huge part of what was so cool about Stranger Things. You know, I loved every time he was on screen. I was like, yeah, you know, he just has a way about him, a charisma about him. He stands out. Um, yeah, I mean, if they cast him, I'd be super happy about it. No
Oh,
doubt.
Paula, I couldn't agree more. The charisma, the voice. I mean, he that low voice that he does. I do. That's another big thing that I don't know if we've really gotten into. I do want someone who's going to bring something new to Freddy. I don't want them to just try to emulate Robert, right? Because
Yeah.
like we've seen Robert's take on Freddy. It's amazing. It's always going to be the best. But I think if someone else is going to do it, I hope they find a way to make it their own, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be nice to see some nice little flourishes that are like, ooh, wow, you know, have some surprises that work. Um, I know, like creatively, that's one thing that would be on my mind if I was, you know, a part of the project. I'd want to, you know, honor it and respect it and all of that, but I'd want to also, you know, have something that is like, wow, that's really cool. You know, because again, there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with Freddy. I mean, like even in not even in the 2010 film, the whole scene with the micro naps in the pharmacy. I was like, that's friggin' awesome, you know, and it was showing how the dream world and the real world were like clashing right in front of Nancy. And I was like, that's amazing. That's really cool. And they had never um really shown that the way they did in 2010 in the other films. And so stuff like that, adding some nice flavor would be great, man. Seriously.
Agreed.
Yeah. Paula, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We got Elvis. No, I'm sorry, Elvin in the house. What's going on? Good to have you. Saying Crystal Lake is a mini series and not a TV series, a one and done series due to the fact they can't use Jason in it. Oh, well, you know, hey, I'm down for it regardless. And I know that in the beginning they had started and then kind of stopped and changed some things. So if it is just a mini series, I'm happy. I'm happy to see what they do based upon the little things that we've heard in this teaser, man. I truly am. No doubt at all.
To my knowledge, that's not true. To my knowledge, they are planning on doing this as multiple seasons. Like I think one of the producers even came out and said like we want to do like we want this to go on for a while. And they even had
Hmm.
some sort of meeting with Schuler White, the guy that played Freddy. Sorry, not, we were just talking about Nightmare, different franchise. They had a meeting with Schuler White, who portrayed the character in Sweet Revenge, the most recent
Yeah.
Jason thing. So
Yeah.
no, I think they have a guy who's working with them from Horror Incorporated, which is the side of that whole lawsuit that got the rights to adult Jason Voorhees with the hockey mask and all that.
Hmm.
I can't remember the dude's name. I know his last name starts with a B, but someone from Horror Incorporated is working on that show as well. That's how they're able to get Jason into that. That's my knowledge on it. Now I'm not working on the project, so I'm not.
Right. Right. No,
Yeah,
no. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much my understanding of it as well. As far as because that was a big roadblock, you
yeah.
know, when this whole thing was put together and they I mean, look, let's just be honest. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. It's like, well, Jason is Friday the 13th. So if we're going to do a show called Crystal Lake, how do we somehow link Jason into it, you know, as far as adult hockey mask Jason? So right from the beginning, this was something on their minds. And from what I understand as well, they're supposed to be able to use him. And whether or not they do, or whether or not different things happen with the rights, you know, that remains to be seen. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I hope they can. I hope they can.
And if they're not, they're certainly teasing him because what was that shot in the trailer,
Yes.
dude? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. It's true. It's absolutely true, man. And I mean, you even heard the breathing. I mean, come on. It's like they know what to do. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
They know what we're here for. Jerry, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Erica, we will catch you later. Saying unfortunately I have to get going, but I hope everyone has a great rest of the night. Thank you so much, Erica. We appreciate you and we hope you have a great night. And we will see you soon. Seriously, thank you. Um, Last thing, let's also, just for the fun of it, let's also talk about the fact, I know some people in the chat have brought up some other horror coming back, but TCM, man, like, are you, how excited are you for Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the possibilities of what Curry Barker is going to bring to that?
I can't lie because it's Curry Barker. That's like the thing I'm the most excited for. You know, when we're
Yeah.
talking about Nightmare, Halloween, you know, a lot of these franchises, they're in such early stages. I'm excited for it, but I don't, you know, they could choose the wrong guy, right? They could choose the wrong person to
Mhm.
be in charge of it, and then maybe it goes in a direction that's I'm not so crazy about. But man,
Right.
Curry Barker's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, those words. It's the perfect little marriage of words and people. After seeing Obsession, especially, I'm just like, my God, Curry Barker is going to do such a great job with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If he can bring that same energy to that franchise, it's going to be a hit.
Yeah, yeah. I just really, I'm really excited for him and what he brings, in his career. I saw him in an interview. I think it was on the Today Show, if I'm not mistaken. And just listening to him, it was just like, bro, you're gonna kill it. I just love his perspective, and he's hungry, and he's such a horror fan. You know what I mean? Like, I really dig all of that about him. So if he can get as creative with TCM as he was able to do with something like an Obsession, it's like, dude, this is gonna be like the best TCM in like so long, you know.
Well, and I especially think he is such a good choice for that franchise because you have a
Yeah.
villain like Leatherface here who, in a way, is kind of similar to Nikki in Obsession. Like, and how I mean by that
Mhm.
is like there's a sympathy angle. You feel
Yeah.
bad for Nikki as you're watching Obsession,
Hmm.
and kind of in the same way that you almost feel bad for Leatherface. He's being bullied by his family into doing
Yep.
all this awful shit, and he's just not, you know, all there to be able to stand up for himself. And it's like
Right.
you're like, oh, I kind of feel bad for him, right? But he is
Right.
also super menacing, and ultimately the guy wielding the chainsaw. You bring that, you know, that Nicky Freeman energy to Leatherface, that could be a really interesting move. And
Yeah.
I'm very confidently predicting this is going to be my favorite sequel. And maybe Texas Chainsaw 2 is really up there for me, but one of my favorite sequels.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it definitely has the possibility of that, because I think, like I said, he just has a way about him, and the ability to kind of like tell a story in a different way, make it fresh, and add those elements that really pop and make it feel fresh. And yeah, I mean, TCM definitely needs that. They definitely need that, and they need it to be, and we need it to be something that works, story wise, that works. I mean, I think that's one of the things that has plagued the last couple of TCM sequels, is you have some interesting moments. You maybe even have some interesting kills or what have you, a couple interesting characters, but it doesn't gel together as well as you would want. So I think
Yeah.
he'll be able to hopefully fix that. I really do. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was also gonna throw out there because I mentioned TCM too, but like the 2000s
Mm.
movies are also so great. You know, those are a ton of
Yes.
fun.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I love the '03 film. I love the beginning. That's so underrated.
Yes.
Like, bro, that version of Leatherface, ooh, like scary as hell, man. Like, it was a really good film. And I think, again, you can get back to that level. You can, I mean, we obviously have seen it before. You can get back to that level and perhaps do some more, even more interesting things. And he's the type of director that could do that. And I'm definitely in that same camp with you. This could be like, a great sequel. It could be one of the best films in the whole damn franchise.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, fingers are crossed. Well, guys in the chat, we thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Seriously, if you have not hit the like button, please do. It helps us out so much. And if you're not subscribed to Killjoy Jake, make sure you guys do that. We hang out on Thursday nights, and we flip-flop between each other's channels, and we have a blast doing it, but we can't do it without you guys. So thank you so much for being here. And Jake, do you have any interesting things coming up that you're working on?
I am posting so many videos over on the page just about all the crazy news we have gotten this week between Nightmare
Yeah.
on Elm Street, Crystal Lake. I'm talking about Evil Dead still, trying to get my
Yes.
coverage out on that because it's like there's so much to talk about with Evil Dead Burn. Did you see Evil Dead Burn? I can't believe I've been meaning to
Oh
ask you this
yeah.
whole
I
stream. Did you
know.
like it?
Yeah, bro. That movie went hard, didn't it?
Yes. Oh my god.
My
Like
God.
I'm blown away. I'm very
Oh,
happy.
I could not believe, like, as I was watching it, there were moments I turned over to Coriander. I'm like, bro, this movie is fucking good. I can't, I mean, not that I didn't think it would be, because you remember you said it, I've said it too. I was just so excited for it and looking forward to it, and the trailer really got me hyped. But it's just a different thing when you're watching it and it's proving you right, through the course of the whole film. I was just I was on pins and needles so many times, in that movie, and I was just like, "This is so good." I'm really excited for the franchise. I'm excited for Wrath, and of course, and by the way, we okay. So I usually don't do this, but I'm going to put the spoiler warning up now. I'm going to say it now. So if you have not seen Evil Dead Burn, just for a quick moment, Jake and we're going to talk about this for a moment, okay? So you've been warned. Here we go, bro. The after credit scene, both of them were crazy, but bro,
Yeah.
look, I'm a look, and I know some people out there, and that's why I'm asking you this. I know some people out there are like, "Well, that doesn't make any sense." Okay, that's fair. Maybe I'm just a fanboy of Alyssa Sutherland. I think that's a big thing, but I love Evil Dead Rise. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, what did you think? Did you think it was too nonsensical or what?
Oh, dude, I mean, come on, I was hyped up. Maggot Mommy's one of the best Deadites in the whole
Yeah.
damn franchise. I
Yes.
and the other thing too is like if you're already judging it, like it's clearly a tease for the next movie, right? Like it's clearly a tease that okay, the next movie is doing something with that. Otherwise, why would that be there, right? Like
Yeah.
I think the whole everything with the grandfather, and again, spoilers.
Yeah.
Everything with the grandfather in this movie is clearly tying back to Wrath, which we already know is a 70s set period piece. It's going to be about like that whole journey, and then somehow maybe fucking with time and new rules about the Deadites that we don't know about. I do think it's going to be a swing. It's going to do some new shit that not everyone's going to like. But
Yeah.
man, I'm open minded to it, especially with how good Rise and Burn have been. I personally like
Yes.
Burn even better than Evil Dead Rise. I thought this was even a step up, and that movie kicked ass too. So I'm
Yeah.
just a happy fucking Evil Dead fan.
Right? Hey, they right now, and I shouldn't even say it because I'm gonna do something on it, but right now, bro, Evil Dead is looking down on other legacy horror franchises as consistency, because Evil Dead's like, and what? Because I'm telling you, man, Burn was so I couldn't believe how good it was, man. I could not. That camera work. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
dude. Oh my
Are you
god.
serious? Like, it was just cool shit. I just like, man, I can't wait to watch it again.
I'm definitely seeing it in theaters one more time. I mean, it's one of my favorite Evil Deads. I just put out a ranking video today too, so I can openly talk
Yeah.
about it. I
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if
yeah.
you've done yours yet, so I'm like, oh,
I
I don't want
did.
to. Okay,
I
okay,
did.
I
I
don't
did.
want to ruin that.
I did. It was, but I will say it was, and I don't want to ruin your video either, but I will say it was challenging because, well, first of all the movies are good.
Yeah,
And of course there's different I say I'm trying not to ruin things, but obviously we know some movies lean into certain things more than others, and it's almost like, well, maybe it's just how I feel that certain day.
yeah.
Am I in the mood for more of this, or I'm in the mood for more of that, but that's a credit to the franchise and how damn good it is. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy, man.
Because I've had some nights, man, where I'm like, I just want to put on Army of Darkness and just vibe,
Yes.
like and
Yeah.
like some of the scarier ones, like I'm just not feeling that right now. Like I need I need Bruce Campbell going absolutely nuts, super
Yeah.
hella camp. But like
Yeah.
that's why I think this franchise is so consistent. It's able to do so many different things and be so effective doing it. So there is something
Yeah.
for everybody in the Evil Dead universe.
Hell yeah, man. I agree, man. That's a good way to wrap this up because I was just so hype after getting out of the theater. I literally wanted to go back in and see it again. I really did. I really did. Real quick before we tune out here, Frank, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well, man. The Evil Dead franchise is the best overall horror franchise. There is no bad film. I agree.
Say it louder.
Absolutely. That's great. I absolutely agree, man. They're just amazing films, and much love to Sam Raimi, bro. Can you imagine? He comes out with the first film. They literally had like $50 and a camera and Bruce and they just made it work, and look at where they're at now. It's a great blueprint, especially for a legacy horror franchise. So much love to those guys. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. As always, we'll be back with Jake next week on his page, so look out for us. We appreciate all the support, and we will catch you guys next time. Take it easy, and as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.